Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I am Afif Ikhwan Muslimin. I would like to present my research paper entitled A Narrative Inquiry of a Successful EFL Learners in an Indonesia Suburban Elementary School. My presentations contain some part. The first one is introduction, second is method, the third is findings and discussions, and the last one is conclusions. So according to expert, there are some factors affecting EFL learning success. So according to the previous studies by Parianto and Pradipta 2020, there are three factors that may influence the EFL learning success. They are motivations, while according to Solano et al. 2019, motivations can minimize anxiety for the EFL learners during the EFL learning. And the second factors is positive and supportive environment. Then Willy Renania support this idea that environment can provide supports that can enhance students' achievement in EFL learning. And the last one is the student should have a positive attitudes. Then reflecting the discussed studies that there is a possibility that the factors may affect differently to EFL learners in different learning contexts. Therefore, the study of individual differences should be taken as considerations. One of the characteristics that each students have differently is personality types. So it's based on some studies like was conducted by Abdurreza et al. 2015, Marpong and Widianotoro 2020. According to Richards and Smith, that personality include behavior, attitude, belief, thought, feeling, and actions that are distinctive and recognizable. There have been some studies related to the correlations between personality types and EFL learning achievement, like what was done by Khairiyah 2016 and also Suleiman 2014. They mentioned that extrovert EFL learners achieve better than the introverted learners. And furthermore, students who have positive feeling or perception or attitudes toward the EFL learning input had high correlations with their achievement according to Marpaung and Widianotoro 2020. Therefore, understanding EFL learners' personality can help them managing best learning strategies to attain better in learning English. So it means that if a students already know what are their personalities, what are their characteristics, so they can choose the best language learning strategies that can best suit to help them to attain better English achievement. Based on the previous studies about language learning strategies, there was a correlation between language learning strategies and EFL well performance, like what was done by Kwiatkowska 2014. Nguyen and Terry 2017 mentioned that EFL learners could gain benefit of language learning strategies applications if learners found themselves was suitable with the chosen strategies. And moreover, because of the importance of language learning strategies to be applied by EFL learners, Oxford 1990 mentions that EFL learners should equip themselves with one or both direct and indirect language learning strategies. For direct language learning strategies, we have known that there are some strategies like memory strategy, cognitive strategy, and compensation strategy. And for the indirect language learning strategy, consists of metacognitive, affective, and social strategies. Then, discussing the success of EFL learners, especially in the elementary school level, two students from an Indonesia suburban elementary school situated in Bojonegoro City, East Java, Indonesia, evidence EFL learning success as they achieved many awards in some English Olympiads around East Java, Indonesia. They surpassed many participants coming from various elementary schools in Indonesia. Based on the observations and interview with their mother, they have different personality types and have studied in a private Islamic elementary school in a suburban area which does not have special English learning program other than a lesson that they have in a school. So it is quite interesting to unveil what is the story behind their success. Therefore, unveiling stories underlying the sibling success in EFL learning hopefully can shed light the other EFL learners and fill the gaps of the existing studies. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this research was conducted through a narrative inquiry research method. What is a narrative inquiry? It is a method which is used to describe humans' experience through stories, according to Clendenin and Rosig 2007. Then the participants of this research were two elementary school students who were studying at the same private Islamic elementary school, or PIS, namely Karina and Tanya in pseudonyms. Karina is a 12 years old female elementary school student and had won 11 times of English Olympiads around East Java, Indonesia. She was sixth grader when this research was conducted. Then Tanya is a 9 years old female elementary school student or third grader student and had won 5 times English Olympiads around East Java, Indonesia. To collect the data, the researcher did in-depth interview and note-taking. And for data analysis and trustworthiness, transcribing cross-case analysis and discussing with the theories was conducted. The trustworthiness of this research was achieved through the inclusions of participants in the process of transcriptions, retelling the stories, and the analysis in order to verify and obtain the feedback. These are the pictures or photos to show that the participants had participated in an English Olympiad around East Java and they won the competitions. While the findings and the discussions, discussing the Karina story, Karina studied English as a subject in school for 8 years. She has not ever joined supplementary course to boost her English proficiency. According to her, her English proficiency was not satisfactory, as she might understand English materials that she learned in a class, but she was not really sure how to and when to apply it. Then, according to her, her personality is extrovert. It's easy for her to mingle with the other classmates in the classroom. And she thinks that she is a disciplined girl because she doesn't like to be late to come to school. And she thinks that she should be the best in the classroom. That's why she's belong to a competitive characteristic student. During the learning, she thinks that memorizing is a best strategy. That's why she memorized vocabularies that we learn in the classroom or in the textbook. So learning from the textbook and relearning her notes were also an activity that she did for learning, which means that she applied metacognitive strategy. Talking about her learning environment, similar school and house with Tanya, but her parents is very busy. Their parents are businessmen and her mother was so ambitious and demanding. Her mother always asked her to be the best in the class because she was also bright during the school. She didn't want her parents upset. That's why it becomes a kind of motivation for Karina to always be the best in the classroom. Now it's Tanya's story. Who is Tanya? The way the teacher taught Tanya in the classroom is not so far different with Karina's teacher taught English in the classroom. Based on the response on the level of her English proficiency, Tanya thinks that she just tried to enjoy English subject. She did not have clear interest with English, but she had to learn it since it was compulsory subject. She just want to get a score from the teacher. So actually, according to Tanya, seems like English is not a favorite subject. Discussing Tanya's personality, so she was introvert person and did not mingle a lot with her classmates. It is because she was reluctant to keep in touch non-virtually with her classmates, since her classmates like to do bullying toward Tanya's physical conditions. That's why Tanya was not so active or showing her best performance in English classroom because of um, feelings quite inferior related to her physical conditions. Discussing the language learning strategies that Tanya did during the learning, so Tanya applied memory strategy. She tried to memorize all vocabularies that she learned in the classroom because her teachers love to give the vocabularies and do the translations. And Tanya said that she just learned before the test or before the competitions. However, since she was not really enjoyed to learn English in the classroom because of the inferior feeling, so she enjoyed watching anime games tutorial in YouTube and creating such anime video based on her imaginations. Tanya enjoyed watching anime game tutorial in YouTube and creating such anime video based on her imaginations. So Tanya, from this act, shows that she learned not directly from the English subject materials, but she learned from the authentic materials like a video which uses English, but it is related to her passions that she loved to watch anime and playing games. So she applied indirect strategies here. Discussing the learning environment, the bullying acts hinder her potential, and it made her to be passive and silent learner in the classroom. She never showed any success in EFL learning unless she won English competitions. So winning the competitions can push and raise her confidence to mingle with others, and it raised her confidence meeting with her classmates. Discussing about the personalities which is related to the EFL learning success. So both participants shows different attitudes toward EFL. So Karina thinks that English is something interesting. So it means that she believes that English is quite easy. While on the other side, following the previous studies that like Komara and PRCW says that English is quite difficult subject, then Tanya also thinks similarly. Talking about the personality, both of the participant has different characteristics. So Karina is an extrovert girl and Tanya is an introvert girl. However, both of them living in the same family, and the family demands and also require both of them to be the best. That's why they don't want to make their parent upset, and it becomes motivations. Then both the participant thinks that their achievement can increase their motivations. So discussing the personality, here both the participants not merely creating what's that correlated directly to the success of EFL learning. However, the motivations here contribute more to the success of both participants to achieve success. Talking about the language learning strategies, both of the participants applied memory strategy, which reflects conventional language learning strategies. And this strategy were suitable with that teacher's teaching model with focus more on vocabulary and translations. However, Karina applied metacognitive strategy by developing self-awareness, the needs, creating a regular treatment or adding more frequency of learning to improve her EFL learning achievement. However, Intania applied effective strategies because she would like to mediate her inferiority because of bullying and finding another ways to scaffold these situations and creating joy and pleasant in learning from her hobby related to anime and game. So Karina applied memories metacognitive strategy as an addition and booster to her applications of memory strategy, while Tanya used effective strategy to solve her psychological problem, which was strengthened by the motivations. Therefore, this present study revealed that any language learning strategies applications would be able to enhance EFL learning success in various levels of achievement. This was supported by Habuk and Magyar 2018 study. And related to the learning environment and discussing the successful EFL learning, Renandia again support that learning environment plays pivotal role to the provide comprehensive input, supportive motivations, enough exposure, and medium of fluency training for EFL learners. However, the school act to both participants differently. They studied in the same school, but they didn't have a similar EFL learning situations. So Karina enjoyed the way the school treat her. However, Tanya felt differently because of her friends' bullying. Then Tanya searched alternative to provide more conducive EFL learning environment that accommodate her patients, like watching games and animes creations tutorials, and also as well as for learning English. However, their parents are very supportive. So the parents also provide a lot of facilities to support their learning. So it means that their home provide a very positive learning environment. So the conclusions of my studies are the teachers and education institutions should consider their EFL learners' differences, including the learners' personalities and the language learning strategies that learners choose in order to help learners to achieve success in EFL learning. However, according to the different personalities between Karina and Tanya's have, it means that this factor doesn't directly give an impact to the success of EFL learning, but the other factors like language learning strategies applied and the existence of supporting learning environment influence positively to the learner's EFL learning success. That's all my presentations. Thank you so much. Sorry if I have mistakes. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning.